Okay, yeah, so this is an off-the-cuff video idea that is courtesy of my jazz candy. Today, I wanted to talk about the Jonathan Majors verdict, him getting dropped by Marvel, his current situation, and where I think he's going now. And this may or may not be like a super obvious take that I'm giving right now. I just was thinking about it and I was like, I should turn the camera on and say this. My name is Nada and this is my channel where I talk about literally whatever I want. So Jonathan Majors this year was arrested for domestic charges. The arrest happened right around the time of promoting Creed 3. So I think they were at the back half of that promotional tour, him and Michael B. Jordan, and then that's when the arrest happened and the allegations came out and all of that. From the moment the allegations came out, I was challenged because I had openly thirsted after Mr. Majors, not in any public forum, but in my own life, in my personal friend groups. And like really what I'm just discovering is that what I'm attracted to more than anything is talent, and people who are talented can also be bad people, and I thought that he was a talented actor. I was immediately challenged because I didn't want to believe what was being said, basically because I had like whatever small little crush on him. But I believe women, and so I challenged myself to think about it from a more objective perspective. And also after reading those text messages that his lawyer inexplicably released, seemingly thinking that this would aid his team, but actually it just made everyone who knows anything about domestic go, so he should go to jail faster. He, a couple of days ago, was officially convicted of some sort of misdemeanor assault. He was convicted of the misdemeanor, not the felony that he could have been charged with. And there was like a whole trial, a whole rigmarole. His ex-girlfriend, who the complaint was filed under, was questioned. He went to court every day looking like a character from an informational play about segregation for children. It just overall wasn't a huge spectacle because I don't think that he's that big of an actor. Like, it wasn't as big as Depp v. Heard, but it was something that people were talking about. And we also had that like weird staged in and out at the high school breaking up a fight video that apparently went out. Like, he's been doing damage control since the whole news leaked. One other thing that came out of the trial was that people finally heard this recording that was made of Majors on the phone with his ex-girlfriend, and he's berating her basically and asking this white woman to act like two examples of famous Black women who are spouses of important men. And you can clearly hear that he is very self-important. But also the tone with which he's speaking to her and like the way that she's responding to him, the apologeticness, the begging, the crying, all of that, it makes you go, oh my God. It's really heartbreaking. And I could tell listening to it that it seemed like he had a lot of control over her life. I feel like he had a lot of control over her life. Update on this story is that after Majors was convicted of the misdemeanor charge, Marvel dropped him. He was playing Kang in the next phase of the MCU, and I think Kang is supposed to be like the Thanos. He's the big bad for this phase of the MCU. And after the news came out, he got dropped. So my friend said, I think his Megan Good PR relationship didn't work, and she's white and I'm Black. And I said, no, I think it worked exactly the way that he wanted it to. It just wasn't to appeal to the white community. I'm thinking about this because I'm thinking about, like, I saw this post about Beyonce songs and like why people conjecturing why Listen by Beyonce didn't go #1 in the United States the way that it did, or almost did, abroad. In the comments, someone was like, yeah, well, we were tired of her wailing at us all the time. After Irreplaceable, we were like, ugh, you might have been better in that group. And then someone responded under, and she was like, who is we? Because me, the we that I know, okay, we were listening to Listen, so to hear that it didn't go #1 in the US, I'm like, but I heard it all the time. I heard it all the time on urban radio. So for me as a Black person, I was like, no, that's not the reason that the thing didn't go viral. Because I think it's because in the Black community and the white community, like culturally, people know different things, people have different understandings, societal constraints and all of that. Seeing this Jonathan Majors thing, I was like, or my friend saying that about the Megan Good relationship, I was like, well, do white people even know who Megan Good is? That was the real question that immediately came into my mind. I think they do because she was on that chain. She was on a leash with Khloe Kardashian that one time. Megan Good, Jonathan Majors relationship is, in my opinion, this is all my opinion, allegedly, whatever, the PR relationship dimension of it is that Black people are going to care that he has a Black woman standing by him and basically co-signing him through this trial. White people already wrote him off as an abuser as soon as the news came out. I just wanted to hop in here to say I had taken an EDIBLE, okay, gotta spell it out because you don't want to get what? Demonetized, right before I filmed this video. And I'm sitting here editing it now, and I keep saying the Black community and Black people when I mean we, okay? I'm talking about us. Well, not all of us, but us. This is, my brain was not in the same room as my body and my mouth. So anytime I say Black people, Black community, whatever, replace that in your mind with a we, because I'm a part of this as well. So I think his strategy right now is to double down on the Black community. I said he only cares about Black people. She was like, what do you mean, like BET TV movies? Yeah, exactly. He's going to do the BET TV movie circuit. He's going to be in the Tyler Perry films. He's going to be in the urban romance. He's going to try and weasel his way onto all Black, if that's something that's interested. If it's a movie on Zeus Network, you will probably see him in it, because he knows that a lot of the Black community tends to be more socially conservative, and also like Black love and Black unity is such a big thing in the Black community that I think, and especially like Megan Good is a person who has been Black famous for decades, and like she has the cachet because of that. So him attaching himself to a Black woman bumps him up a little bit socially in the Black community. And there's a lot of people we know who are willing to overlook allegations in the Black community, especially when it's perpetuated by Black men against white women, but any abuse allegations whatsoever, if they like the thing that the person puts out. This is my experience. Chris Brown still has a career. He doesn't have a career because like he's super mega crossover famous the way he was on the verge of being before he beat Rihanna in 2009. He has a career because the Black community mainly is supporting him. And we could talk about how much African people love Chris Brown, okay? How many fucking songs does Chris Brown have with Davido? Like, and why? Not just because they're friends, which they might be, but because he knows that he plays well in Africa. Look, I'm not gonna perpetuate the myth that Black people are somehow more backwards or less progressive than white people are, because that's not the truth, and that's a racist myth. It's like how in Uganda to be gay is illegal, but in England there's like widening societal acceptance for being homosexual, and people in England are like, oh my god, there's a human rights crisis in Uganda. Being gay is illegal there. Those Africans don't know what they are doing. They're just so homophobic because they're African. Well, no, the homophobia was imported by the colonizer, the Christian colonizers with their gay kings and their lesbian queens, who say, we can be gay, and we can be queer, and we're gonna put out an edition of the Bible that says being gay and being queer is bad. And they enforced them onto the Ugandans, and then created a situation in which people were violently homophobic. And then they went back to their country, progressed through time, and want to look back at the Ugandans like, look at how backwards you are. Ugandans are homophobic because of English people. I don't want to perpetuate the myth that Black people are somehow more backwards or less developed than white people, but I also know that the truth is that there are a lot of Black people who still listen to R. Kelly. There are a lot of Black people who love Chris Brown. There are a lot of Black people who want the Cosby Show to be back on syndication. It's almost like they are willing to accept abusive behavior towards other people if the person who did it is a Black person who still has gender power. It's like because they're Black, they're already discriminated against. But because they're Black people are more willing to forgive them because they know that like societally you're at a disadvantage. So we understand that you're coming from a place and a subject position in the world. So we will give you a chance. There's something about you that we can forgive because we see ourselves in you. We would want people to forgive us. And there's also Black people who just don't care, and they just don't think that abuse exists. They think every woman who, they just think, they don't care about any of that. They like this guy and he's being persecuted against because he is Black and racism. I think Jonathan Majors, being Black, knows that, and he knows that the Black community is willing to forgive a Black man who perpetuates abuse, especially if that abuse is against a white woman, or especially if the complainant of that abuse is a white woman, because of the history of white women lying about things like that, and then entire cities of Black people getting or murdered. The white people, they're never gonna forgive him. So also I wanted to say, like, what I meant when I was saying that Jonathan Majors is going to go to the Black side because white people have written him off. In a way, white people writing you off is equivalent to the mainstream. Like, you no longer have access to mainstream income. So at least I think what he's going to do is try to pander to Black people so that he can keep the money flowing in. What we need to do is say, no, sir, you don't need to be an actor. You need to be in therapy. Okay, you need to be talking to a licensed professional. You need to be going to a place for a few hours every week and discussing the hatred that you feel for yourself, the hatred that you feel for women, and the delusions of grandeur that you have, allegedly. That's what you need to be doing. We need to say, no, sir, you can't come over here. Some people are going to boycott any movie that he's in, not watch any TV show that he's in because he's in it. And so there's no chance for him to have redemption in the white world, but there is a chance for him to have redemption in the Black world. And so this Megan Good PR relationship it didn't fail because he got convicted anyway, or because he got dropped from Marvel. It's actually doing exactly what it was supposed to be doing, because as I mentioned, the clip earlier of his ex-girlfriend chasing him, there were so many Black people in the comments talking about, hate to see a Black man get down, I support him, this doesn't look like abuse, I've never seen, like, all of these people really defending him. And in the picture that was posted of him and Megan Good, there were a lot of people in the comments saying, like, what a beautiful Black couple, I love Black love, she's so good to stand by her man, all of this stuff. So I think they could, and the other thing is that Megan Good is popular amongst the, like, Gen X and older Black people who are a little bit more traditional. You know, she was married to a pastor for like 10 or 11 years. She's been on TV since she was a kid. And those are the ones who are going to spend the money on the things that he is in, because, like, younger people are just going to stream it, but older people will, like, get the on-demand. They'll go to the movie theater, or they'll order it on the computer or whatever. He is legitimized by dating a preacher's former wife, and she is legitimized by being in a stable relationship with a Black man through a difficult time in his life, because there was all this stuff coming out when she got divorced of, like, oh, you should have stuck it through, like, whatever, marriage is hard, and, like, all this stuff. This is basically showing people that she can get through things that are hard, but she can get through things that are hard. There was just whatever other reason that relationship didn't work out. Oh, look, unfortunately, I think they might get married and have children, especially since Megan is a Sagittarius. We know what other famous Sagittarius looked at the man that she loves abuse allegations and allegedly tried to pay the woman who levied those allegations, who not just levied this, who the conviction, whose assault the conviction was based on. Yes, tried to bribe her, so allegedly. So, you know, it's not surprising. I always root for children, so I'm not gonna like dog out Jonathan Majors and Megan Good's child just because their father is a abuser and their mother is a bird, you know. So, but that is all I have to say about this. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked anything that I had to say, please consider subscribing. Again, I make videos about literally whatever I want. And yeah, that's gonna be it. I'm gonna go film another video. Bye.